Hello everyone and welcome back to the Amersfoort Motorsport YouTube channel. Today's video, F3 teammate comparison so far this season in F3. Obviously, we did F2 teammates the other day. If you want to go have a look at that, check it out. This one, you have 3 teammates, so you're not just beating one guy, you have to beat 2 guys to be the best at your team, to be the team leader. So let's look into who's the team leader at Prema. And obviously, with these statistics, it's between 2 guys. You have Noel Leon, the experienced Ted, versus Ugo Ugochukwu, with Brenda Badua not even registering a point, beating either of his teammates in a session. It's not looking good for the Italian McLaren Jr. So I think it's quite interesting. I feel like I thought that Ugochukwu was having quite a poor season, but when you compare him against Leon, who was one of the better kind of remaining drivers in F3, stepping up to a team rather than one of the lower down teams. He's coming to Prema, one of the better teams. He's matching Leon in a lot of these statistics, you know. Leon does have that podium. Apart from that, points pretty even. Sprint results, quad results, race results, pretty even, if not in Ugo's favour. So yeah, interesting one here at Prema. Obviously the team as a whole, washed. They're not understanding new regs at all. We saw it in F2 last year. We're seeing it this year. The kind of ground effect cars aren't the one for Prema. Then we have the Trident team, who are looking like superstars. You know, you've got Kamara in there, who's obviously leading the pack. Then you have Stromstead keeping up as much as he can with Wirtz, holding on to their coattails. Either way, Kamara obviously is dominating these graphics. You know, he's dominating podiums, dominating wins. He's got 3 wins, 4 podiums, 120 points. I think he's second or third in the points championship. No, he's first. Sorry, he's first in the points championship. Sprint results, he's actually kind of matching Wirtz. Wirtz has done quite well in the sprints. We kind of suggest that maybe he's qualifying 10 to 12 to do well in those sprints, rather than Kamara, who's more often than not on pole. And if he's not on pole, he's in the top 10, you know. Yeah, quality results 6 to 1 for Kamara. I think he had one where he was like 4th or 5th, and that's when Wirtz stepped in there. But yeah, Stromstead also having a good season for a rookie. I feel like he's maybe being outshone by his teammate Kamara, but still a very, very solid rookie year. And if he was able up against anyone else, I feel like it would look even better. So if I tried, I'm very happy with their drivers. It's quite interesting to see that like the experienced person that teams have gone for, like Leon, like Wirtz, aren't always doing the best of their pool of drivers at a team, you know. So it'll be interesting to see if that kind of trend carries on throughout the rest of the teams. We got AIT next with Ben Hoopen, the experienced person. Like I said, there's one experienced guy, 2 rookies in most teams. And you got Wharton and Toponen. Wharton not doing as good as the rest of these guys, apart from that sole sprint race win that he managed to get, which makes him look amazing in that one graphic. But the rest of it is pretty even between Toponen and Van Hoopen. Points wise, it's pretty even split. Sprint results, even split. Quali results, even split. Race results, pretty even split. So I think Toponen's coming in, doing well up against one of the better remaining drivers, similar to Leon. Van Hoopen had a very good last year. He's having a better this year. But Toponen's coming in and saying, well, actually, I'm as good as you, if not better, and I'm younger. So it's quite an interesting team. I think Wharton, I remember him coming in last season for a kind of an escapade over 1 or 2 race weekends and having a great little outing. I think it was Silverstone. He managed to get a point or something last year, but this year, no, it's not been the one. I mean, like 19 points. That's bad for someone as skilled as Wharton. So hopefully next year he can kind of bed in and do better and do as expected. Then we have the Campos team. And this looks really, really even between Solov and Boyer, with Insta Fudovec, and they're a little slither in the middle. Podiums. The team's got 10 podiums together. Most of those for Boyer and Solov. Wins. Some kind of vibe. Boyer, Solov. Even Insta Fudovec has a win. But yeah, it's the points wise quite even between Boyer, Solov. But yeah, the Fudovec isn't really contributing as much. But still, when you have two talented guys in the team, it's fine to have the other one doing what he can. I think the interesting thing is qualifying. I think, like, let me have a look at my statistics. But Boyer, where is he? Boyer is the 15th best qualifier. That's not great for someone who's trying to like win the championship, you know. Whereas Solov, he's hitting it, you know, like he's qualifying well. I think he's overrun the Camara dominance that we saw at the start of the season, where it was pole after pole after pole for the Brazilian. Solov's come back, started to get a couple of those poles. I think it's 2 or 3 poles he's got so far, and that'll be looking to continue as we head to Spa, then Hungary. So yeah, a great team for Campos. Solov kind of edging out the results. Boyer close behind him, but he has to qualify better. And then it's Fuzovac. He's doing what he can. Then we have Hitech, who just recently announced that for Spa, my boy Freddie Slater, get on the Slate train early. I'm telling you guys, he's the next big thing. He's coming in for the other driver, because this has been a rotating cast of drivers that haven't done anything really. They've never beaten either of these guys, as in like beating both of them in one weekend, either for a sprint or qualifying or a race result. They haven't scored a point. It's a bad result for whoever's come in and stepped in. But when Freddie Slater went to the AIX team start of the year, he did bits. So this could change after this weekend in Spa. Watch out for Freddie Slater. Podium in the sprint race incoming. Watch out. But yeah, Gerard Z, not living up to much really. I think he's got one sprint race result over Spencer Stenshorn, and that is it. Stenshorn having quite a good season, you know. The McLaren backing came in halfway through last season, and he didn't. I think he kind of had a struggling end of the season last year. This year though, it's been sold all round, and then the team, which doesn't look like it's doing much, he's getting the most out of. So I'm impressed with Stenshorn. Hopefully he can find a seat in F2 next year. But either way, there'll be definitely a plethora of F2, F3 teams chasing him for signature. Because yeah, impressive stuff in a struggling team. Then we have MP Motorsport with Gusti, Tremnitz, and Delpino. Another 1-1 where it's like, what's going on here? There's a bunch of it's just colour. It's just colour on the screen, you know. You got Delpino and Gusti with podiums 2 and 1 alike. No one with a win though. Then points wise, Tremnitz, even though he doesn't have a podium, he's got more points than both of the other drivers put together. So Tremnitz, as expected, start of the year, the Red Bull Junior having a very solid year. We'll be looking to go up to F2 next year at some point. Sprint results though, Tremnitz and Gusti both doing quite well. Gusti, I think, I wasn't expecting much things from the Williams Junior, but no, he's come in and he's put in a good shift so far. Quality results, Tremnitz, race results, Tremnitz. So even though he's not getting the highs and the podiums like these other 2 drivers are, Delpino and Gusti, he's quietly having a very, very solid season. Then we have the VAR team with De Farnal, Dominguez, and Santiago Ramos. And you have Nal and Ramos kind of dominating the graphs below us with podiums, 7 podiums between the team. They'll be quite impressed with that, you know. I wasn't expecting much from this VAR team with a lot of these guys being rookies, Ramos being the one returning driver, but I don't think he had a standout 2024 season. But yeah, Dominguez doing what he can. Similar to what we saw with Theo Farnal at Campos. When you have 2 guys who are getting like a good haul of points most weekends, it's alright to have that one guy just here and there about, maybe throwing him on the alternate strategy, you know, and see if it works out or not. But yeah, either way, Ramos now quite evenly split. I think they're kind of pushing each other to the best within that team. The Roden team's up next. I don't think it's more of the same, you know. You have Campos and Belinsky. Belinsky, he's taken a while to get to F3, but he's finally here, and they're showing what he's about. Boysen, the returning driver for Roden, that one returning driver that we've seen as a constant theme throughout this kind of F3 season. And then Louis Sharp, the proper rookie, a young guy, one of the younger rookies, probably going to have this year as a betting in year before he kind of puts a real shot at a title next season. But yeah, Voisin not doing as well, it looks on paper, as Roman Belinsky. I think Belinsky has had a quietly stand out. He's just standing out as a driver this year with 2 podiums to his name, kind of dominating this kind of Roden team, which is on a resurgence. You know, last year they had a poor season, I think. This year they're back. I think they're qualifying really well. I think, let me have a look at their statistics, the detailed statistics on my other tab. Yeah, we have Voisin, the 14th best qualifier, Belinsky, the 10th best qualifier, Sharp, the 11th best qualifier. This is showing that, like, they're providing these drivers with the car to go racing and allowing them to score good points. So I think it's quite even at this team, apart from Louis Sharp, who's obviously betting in. But yeah, Belinsky coming in and impressed. Voisin, I think he'll take this as a bit of a knock, you know. He's probably trying to be the team leader this year and get that set up to the Roden F2 team next year, replacing Dunn if he wins the title. So he'll be a bit disappointed with his showing so far. Still got three races though to make it up. And then AIX Racing, as I said before, Freddie Slater, the GOAT, is coming back for Hitech, but not with PHM. They've also had a rotating half of drivers in their seats, apart from Marin and Jelly, who's been the only constant. So it's been quite difficult to kind of track his statistics against the comparison, but I've done what we can. Either way, whenever Benavidez has shown up though, he's been sick. I know he's 24, he's older than the most of the drivers, but he's the 5th best qualifier. I think his average gap to pole is 0.6 seconds, which when you consider that actually this year there's been quite big gaps between pole sitter and the rest of the field, it's a good showing, you know. Yeah, Headley hasn't shown much, and Marin Jelly, the worst qualifier. No surprises there. You know how I feel about pay drivers, but what can you do? At least he's finishing the races, I guess. And then we have the Dams team with Lacorta, Ho, and Zegazeta. Points-wise, Ho is doing well. I think he's showing why he's kind of been brought in to this new team in Dams. Kind of the other 2 guys not performing as well in either the sprint or the races or even qualifying, and not scoring much points apart from Zegazeta, who's got those 6 points. So Christian Ho, the team leader here at Dams. And yeah, that's the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I think it's really weird seeing all these trends among the teams, you know. Like you have like one returning driver coming back into a team, then 2 rookies usually with them, if not 3 rookies. So there's been a lot of turnover, a lot of churning of the drivers in F3. I don't really like to see it. I like drivers kind of allowing time to bed in before they get swapped over. I know it's due to funding and other reasons, but still, I think there's some very exciting team dynamics going on here. It'll be interesting to see how the kind of Boyer, Solov dynamic plays out over the rest of the season as both of these guys fight Kamara for the title. So thanks for watching. This has been a Team AIX video. There's more on the way, so stay tuned for that. We've got Belgium, Spa, highlights coming up this weekend as well, so stay tuned. It's going to be a great couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Peace.